Well, we're about halfway through Auburn spring practice, Brandon. 7 practices in. Saturday will be the 8th practice, first scrimmage. A lot of questions still to be answered and a lot more information for this coaching staff to learn about. Starting the offense, heard from Rhett Lashlee on Thursday evening, and he still has a lot of questions that he wants to answer beginning this Saturday.
Yeah, it seemed like every question you asked about, position battles, even new players, was like, he even said about the receivers, for example, you just put all their names in the hat and pull one out. They don't know a lot about these guys as far as where they be on the depth chart. But starting Saturday, as we have said the last 2-3 weeks, that's when you'll start getting some answers about these positions. And I'm particularly interested, as everybody is, about quarterback. Are they going to make them live? And I think they're slow playing it like, well, we don't know yet, because they're going to go live Saturday. They're going to tackle them. They want to see what John Franklin III's made of. They want to see if Jeremy Johnson's confidence will not be rattled. And they want to see a healthy Sean White out there with full blitzes coming at him. So Saturday will be very interesting. I'm sure the coaches will try to downplay it a little bit, as they usually do, but it is a very important, the most important day so far in the spring, and probably one of the top 2 or 3, including A-Day.
And I completely agree, because when Nick Marshall won the job, it was very much, first off, it was a fall camp, as we know, but it came after a live scrimmage. That was how he was able to separate himself. It was one thing to say, all right, you're a mobile quarterback, a dual threat guy. You see that when the defensive end or linebacker can't hit you. But when they can do it, what does it look like? Well, if John Franklin III is to win the job, or Jeremy is to keep the job, or Sean is to keep the job, whatever the case may be, how are you going to make that evaluation without them being live at any point, whether it be spring or in fall camp? And if you're going to do it at all, if you have the option, you do it in spring. So I agree with you. I think they're going to do it now. Defense, still a lot of questions to answer there. Kevin Steele, now granted we haven't talked to him for nearly 2 weeks now, so his assessment only came after 3 days, 1 day in pad, so he was really early on when we last heard from him. But he has questions to answer, mainly starting at the linebacker core, where he obviously is one of the coaches involved in the process. But they're going to have a lot to look at the linebacker core beyond Trey Williams. And frankly, in the secondary as well, because outside of Carlton Davis, yeah, Stephen Roberts is back as an experienced guy, but Nick Ruffin we've seen with the first team. He seems to be getting a lot of first-team time. Didn't spend a lot of reps, really, in the middle part of last season, and even a little bit into the latter part of last season. Didn't see a lot of time. So how does he handle things in a higher role in a first-team potential capacity? Same thing with Jamel Dean. So a lot of questions to answer there, but we know that certain guys, look, the core of the offensive line we know is there. Carl Lawson, Montrevious Adams, we know are there. Trey Williams is a guy we know is there. Marcus Davis, even though that was the one part we didn't ask much about him tonight to Rhett, because there's not much really to ask, quite frankly. But that was the one somewhat surprising bit from Rhett tonight, was that he made the comment about the receivers, and I guess Marcus is technically in that group with everybody, but at the same time he's so clearly the leader of the group. I don't know how you bunch him up with everyone else.
Yeah, I think that's more or less, I hate reading into things, but there's a lot of receivers still coming to campus, and so that might be one, to motivate the guys that are still on campus, but also let the guys know who haven't come on campus yet. This thing's wide open. You can still come in and contribute, because I know Nate Craig Myers is champing at the bit to have a chance to come in here and not only play but start. And hearing words like that will only bring more confidence for him.
Absolutely. And we'll begin to have more answers beginning on Saturday morning after that scrimmage, like I say, and that's really going to serve as the demarcation point, kind of the halfway point of spring. There could be separation coming early as soon as next week.
Separation Saturday is what I'm calling it. Just like ESPN with their stuff.
In March.
Separation Saturday in March.
We'll whittle the field down from 8 to 4.
Yeah.